What is going on, everybody? Today I'm going to begin a fun little interior mod you can do to your trucks. I'm going to be replacing the gray leather on the door panels. All four door panels, I do have a four-door obviously, all four of the panels have the same pattern. I purchased four of these black leather pre-cut pieces. I believe it was on eBay or Amazon. Obviously you can tell it's definitely bigger than the piece, so once you get the door panel off, you just sort of cut it so it overlaps a little, get some spray adhesive and install it. So step one, you have to remove the door panels, the process for which for the rear doors is a little different from the front door, so I'm beginning in the rear. Just a few tools you need, and I'll get into why you need each of these in just a little bit. You need something to grab some plastic tabs, a larger flathead screwdriver, just anything you can use as sort of a pry bar to pop the tabs off, a thin flathead screwdriver to pop this little tab off in the door handle, a good size Phillips screwdriver, and then for this it's just something really to poke, because you have this tab right here, you poke in the middle of this thing and it pops out and you can pull it out. So I'll go ahead and do that so you can see what I'm talking about. You just press it in. You gotta press it pretty hard, and then that's loose, so you'll take the smaller Phillips flathead screwdriver and pop this out. I'm not going to actually show the entire removal of the door panel, but I'll just walk through the steps real quick. You pop this piece out. See if you can see this. I know there's a shadow. There's one Phillips screw right there. So you just take the screw off for this. You do not have to remove the handle. Next, the bottom of the, the lower handle here, there's another Phillips screw. You will take that off, and actually this piece will slide right out. I've already, then you will pop this out. This whole piece comes off. It's a series of 3 small tabs, 1, 2, 3, and then a bigger tab here in the middle. So just start popping it off at the top, and I'll get into something again with this piece in just a minute for those tabs. For the rest of this door panel, once those Phillips screws are off, you take whatever you're using as your pry bar. I'm just using a Phillips screwdriver. Beginning at the bottom, there's actually a hole down here. You can feel it when you run your hands between the metal of the door and the plastic of the panel. You'll begin popping this all off. It's just tabs. It should come off pretty easily. Just make sure you're not too hard and break something. So once I have the door panel off, I will show you a few things to do with that. As you guys can see, I've got this top plastic trim piece off. What I would definitely recommend doing is taking these 3 small white tabs out and just go ahead and reinstalling them on the back of the trim piece. You can see they go there, there, and there. Because if you do not, and you just try to pop the trim piece back on when you're finished with these in the current position, if they fall back through there, which it's pretty easy to do, it will fall inside the door, and you'll have to, when this panel's off, you'll see there's a big piece of plastic down here. You'll have to peel that back and dig your hand in there to fish those out, otherwise they'll just be rattling around. So definitely recommend go ahead and removing these and installing them on the back of the plastic piece. To get these back on, you just push them straight on the middle of the little wedge right there, and they snap right on until it clicks. When you have the panel loose like this from the bottom all the way up to the top, see if I can do this one-handed. The way you remove it is you just slide it right up, because this piece is just resting between the glass and the window channel. So that slides right up. Let's see if I can get this. Of course it's stuck because I'm doing it one-handed. And it pops right off. I had a tab just fall out, so I got to get that. Now the next step, for the window control, you have to just use your little clips to pull that loose, and you're good to go. Alright guys, I'm back inside. As you can see, I've got the door panel completely removed. This is the back side. This is where we are working on next, because this is where the actual leather armrest sits. It's behind this little insulating pad. So the next step, this is all glued on here, the insulating pad. Some of it peels back, but you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, if I counted right, 11 points where this pad is resting on another plastic piece that is glued on by those 11 points. So what we need to do is loosen that. You just need a drill and a 3/8 drill bit. Now when you are drilling each of these, just take your time because you do not want to over drill. Literally just on like the lowest speed setting on your drill, go one by one, take your time. Just drill down until whatever section you're holding, you can shake it and it comes loose, and then just move to the next one, etc., till the whole thing pops out. Do not drill down too far. I mean, it's maybe 1/8 to 1/4 inch depth maximum. So if you over drill, you will obviously you can pop through to the other side of the door, which you don't want. But you also want to make sure you don't go too deep, because you need something, because I'm not going to be re-gluing these, I'm just going to use screws. So I need something for the screw to bite into, obviously. So I'm going to drill all these out real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, the next part is by far the most difficult part of the process, not because it's hard really, but just because it is time consuming. So you can see I've got the leather armrest panel off. It's still attached to the plastic piece and this large piece of insulation. I'm leaving that on there so it's easier to install later. So what we need to do now is actually peel this. There's the leather, and there's a piece of foam padding underneath it. You need to make sure to remove as much as possible, because when we use the spray adhesive for the new piece, it needs to be able to stick smoothly, so we get these nice rounded edges like the factory. So I just recommend starting at one of these tabs and just take your time, don't rush it. I'm doing it right in front of the TV, so you know, something to do, so you're not just sitting here doing this. You can see it, I'm pulling on it, but you have to pull so it doesn't tear. So it is slow, just a little bit at a time. When I did this on the other side, I found it was easiest to try to pull just a little and go along a line like from here to here and peel the whole thing back that way. So just get it started, and I'll show you once this is off. Okay guys, after about 15 minutes of pulling and swearing and all that, I finally got the old leather piece off. You can see the old glue, I guess, is still on here, but this is completely flat. There's no bumps, so I'm not worried about putting Goo Gone or any kind of adhesive remover on it. So that is what it should look like when everything is removed. The next step is you want to, obviously you can see that is much bigger than the old piece, so I'm going to trim it. I'm actually going to flip this over because I can actually mark on this side. So you just put this down. I'm going to use a permanent marker. Outline around this and then cut it, and then comes the fun process of gluing it back on. And here's my rough trace outline. It doesn't have to be perfect, you can see, just so you know generally where the tabs are. This whole thing, the actual panel that's going to be showing once everything is completed, is probably about at least a ½ inch shorter, so this will overlap where I'm gluing. When you cut this out, I definitely recommend using some kind of quality like sewing or tailoring shears, like the heavy duty ones, so you don't get any threading along the outside. I would not recommend using, you know, like $5 scissors at Walmart. So if you have those, definitely get that. I guess you could use it with a razor blade or a construction knife, but scissors definitely the easiest way to go. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out and do a dry fit on the panel and see how it fits. Alright, I got this overlapped. You always want to make sure you have a little overhang on each side, obviously, so when you glue it down it has something to grip to. This middle part, once you put the glue on, is a little tricky, but this stuff dries. I'll be using a 3M high strength 90 spray adhesive. Dries pretty quickly. Just make sure you, once you spray it, you get this centered. You have a little room to play, especially this corner over here, because obviously you want only the leather to be showing when you install this back on. So I'm going to spray this on. I will be using gloves when I do this, and I'm going to do it outside, obviously in a well ventilated area, so I will show you the finished product once the glue dries. And here is the piece all glued on. I had when you're doing this, you sort of have to work out. There'll be a, because it's so curved, there'll be a few spots that sort of bubble up. So once I sort of work from one side and go, I did the top or the bottom to the top. And I got to the end here. I have this little side that was a little bubbled up. So I have this flat piece I just have clamped on to keep that, and just make sure you feel lightly press for any bubble. Just make sure when you find an area that you do have to depress like that, you don't pop something up elsewhere. So that's why I definitely recommend working from one side to the other. So I'll let this completely dry for a few hours and then show you guys the finished product when everything's reinstalled. And there is the finished product with everything installed, just going in reverse. The process for installing this is exactly the same for the two front doors, but the process to remove the door panel is a little different. And I'm going to actually give you guys a link to a video down in the description, which is pretty popular. It's got a very attractive woman showing you how to take those doors off, so you can thank me later if you haven't already seen that video. If you guys are just stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next mod. Have a great day. Alright, once the spray-on adhesive has fully dried, you're going to place it on there the way it's going to go. Make sure everything looks good before you actually screw everything down. I will be using these Everbuilt Panhead Phillips number 10 by 1/2 inch screws. They come in 9 packs just for a little over $1, I think. And I'll be using one of these on each of the melt points that I had drilled out previously. So I'll attach this up, and then all you have to do is reinstall the door panel, just backing up the way you took it off. So I'll see you in a few minutes. And there is the finished product with everything installed, just going in reverse. The process for installing this is exactly the same for the two front doors, but the process to remove the door panel is a little different. And I'm going to actually give you guys a link to a video down in the description, which is pretty popular. It's got a very attractive woman showing you how to take those doors off, so you can thank me later if you haven't already seen that video. If you guys are just stopping by for the first time, please consider subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next mod. Have a great day.